Hello and welcome back to another episode of, you guessed it, we're going to be talking about what Article 13 is going to be doing, and it's really, it's not good, that literally, but I'm not going to talk about what it means or that stuff, well, kinda, but I don't know. I've had YouTube taking my videos down because they've been putting like duplicates of videos up by mistake that I had no idea I was making duplicate numbers of the same videos, and what I'm going to compare Article 13 is I'm going to compare it to events that happened in history. Now, as you know, as a while back, well, first let me get into this. Article 13, now if you want to share your copyrighted content and that stuff, you now have to pay a tax. Yeah. I find it completely stupid. It messed up in a lot of ways. But, yeah. Like, all sites are doomed. That, like, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Yahoo, you name it, and these sites are pretty much due. You know how you always do your daily internet searches every single day? You do internet searches every day. Every day. It goes on every day. And Europe doesn't understand how the internet works. Like people use the internet for many reasons. Now, in school, if you're doing like a school project or whatever, and that stuff, they would ask you to go on a certain website that would help you learn more about a project. Okay, and yes, the source is copyrighted. Yeah. The source is completely copyrighted, and what I think this law is pretty much going to do is it's basically going to how do I want to put this? It's basically going to destroy all of the internet. I just say it plain as that. And literally, this is going to ruin a lot of businesses, as I'd like to put it. And nobody's going to be able to do their jobs anymore. Obviously, nobody. And I'm I'm going to say this. Nobody in school is going to be able to do their jobs anymore if if the students or the teachers can't do anything, like, do research for, like, a science project, or if you're in, like, a school and you need to research the internet for any project, like any sort of project, you won't be able to do it because Article 13 is going to, ban you from using any copyrighted materials, especially over YouTube. Like, if you had to, if you were putting a clip onto, Microsoft PowerPoint, you'd obviously would not be able to do that because of copyright restrictions. Like, take it from any kind of source. Any kind of website that you can think of. And you won't be able to do it. Now, here's where I get to the point where I compare Article 13 to history. And you'll be surprised to hear this. Remember back in history, there was an event that happened, and it was called a tea tax. Now, this obviously was there was a certain group that wanted to tax everybody on tea. So, yeah. So, every time you wanted to buy tea, back in history, and you'd have to pay tax every time you wanted tea. And yeah, this was actually a stupid act, but yeah, like, every time that if I were in recent history and I had to pay tax for tea, every time I went to a restaurant just to get some tea out of, like, the drinking fountain that they have at restaurants and that stuff, I'd be pretty upset that I'd have to be paying tax for that. And this is the same thing that Article 13 is doing. And the comparison I wanted to make was that it compares to the tea tax. That is, Article 13 is now going to, if you want to share copyrighted news, like on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever, that stuff, you have to pay a tax for it every time. Just like I said what the tea tax was. If you're purchasing tea or drinking tea, you'd always need to pay a tea tax. Like, literally, all these taxes and stuff, they literally, They want your money. That's basically what Article 13 is trying to do. They're trying to... Europe is trying to pass this law so that they could be in control of the internet with this bill and just, like, completely destroy how you use the internet. That's basically overall what it's doing. And I'd be very, very frustrated if I were using my hard-earned money, that stuff. I'd be, like, very, very upset if I had to, like, on Facebook, for example, if I shared any copyrighted law, like, any copyrighted, if I'm sharing, like, any copyrighted works from other people, I'd be pretty raging mad. And I can certainly say and literally, what I'm meaning to say is, if I was using my hard-earned cash that I earn, and that stuff, every time I wanted to save something to Facebook or Instagram, those are the only two sources of social media apps that I have. And I'd be very, very, like, disappointed for doing that. For wasting my hard-earned money just to put something on the messed up internet that's been messed up by Article 13. Yeah, I would call that stupid. I'd call that stupid if I had to use hard-earned money that I've earned to post something on the internet, and yes, if it was copyrighted, I'd be, like, very, very upset that I'd have to always pay a tax for just seriously allowing or posting any work of any copyrighted material on social media and always have to pay a tax for it. Yeah, I'd be, like, very upset. And the reason why I'd be upset is because that's the money that I earn. But I honestly want to pay my own blasted money just to post something on the internet? That is just, like, so messed up. Like, I'd be very... like, very, very upset. And I just wouldn't like this. I just wouldn't even like what Article 13 does to the internet. Europe just basically wants your money. That's why the tea tax in history was put in place. Because this group, if I should say, always wanted they wanted money. That was the obvious reason. like it's so obvious that these companies, or that if you honestly had to pay a tax for, like, let's say, for example, you had to pay a tax on, like, every single water fountain beverage. And I mean, it didn't matter what beverage it was. If you were, let's say, for example, okay, you paid a tax for lemonade. Let's say you paid a tax for lemonade. And let's say you got lemonade from Burger King after a while. Okay, you got lemonade from the fountain. Okay? You would always be paying a tax for every time you wanted lemonade. Or let's say Burger King made a law where now you obviously have to pay, like, a tax for every single drink out of the fountain and stuff. Alright? Now, that would be, like, too much right there. Because, now, oh, yeah. What I was saying was, if you're paying tax for every single drink in the drinking fountain section, you'd probably end up paying a lot and that stuff. And Burger King, if I had to say something, you'd probably be paying about, like, $15 every time you went to eat there. Just because they, like, taxed everything on the drink menu of the fountain. Of the fountain. I repeat that. And nobody would like it. Nobody would love this. I'd be, like, pretty upset if I was always spending $15 to go eat at Burger King every single day because of their stupid tax laws on drinks. I remember eating at a McDonald's once, and this was, like, in another, I think this was, like, Ashford, New York, or maybe Springville. It could have been. No, I think it was Ashford. Anyway. We ate there. When we got our orders and that stuff, they charged us tax on water, like on water that we ordered, and they also charged us tax for the sauces and that stuff. And I'm like, when did McDonald's ever do this, or Burger King? It could have been Burger King. We could have gone back to Ellicottville, New York to eat at Burger King. Which, I think, that's what we eventually did. And we got charged for, tax. We got taxed on, we got taxed on sausage, we got taxed on water that came out of the fountain, and yeah, I was like, that was so messed up. Even my mother said it was messed up. And the McDonald's and the Burger King that I've ate at, they never charged you, like, tax on water and that stuff. I mean, yeah, it was, to me, that was just, like, really, really messed up there. Talk about messed up business right there. Yeah. The bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, if you have to pay a tax for, like, every single thing, I would definitely call it messed up. I'd definitely call it messed up. This whole idea that everything should be having a tax being put on it, it's just stupid, really. I don't find it, I don't even find this remotely or completely, I don't find it necessary. And I would certainly hope that once Europe finds out that they're making a lot of people mad over this, tax thing with Article 13 and that stuff, people are going to be really, like, fired up. Like, literally. They literally would be getting, like, very much fired up. Now, do you think that the people would enjoy that every time that you wanted to go and post something onto Facebook or Instagram or Google Plus, or, you know, search up something on Google or Chrome or anything like that, and now all of a sudden you have to pay, like, tax for everything that you search up on the internet and that stuff? Come on. Europe, it's a waste of money. Article 13 is like the most stupidest bill you ever passed. I mean, if you think that people are going to, like, really want to just if they were, like, any time they wanted to search something up on YouTube, like, more than just once and that stuff, and you are there with your hard-earned cash, and as far as the internet that we've been using so far, it's been free to search up whatever you wanted. It was free. It's free. And everybody likes the idea of searching the internet for free and that stuff. I mean, yeah, there might be like a where you have to pay to be a member of a website, something like that. But you literally didn't have to pay for the whole internet every time you wanted to search something up or share something. But YouTube is going to be heavily affected by this. seen another source saying that what Article 13 was literally going to do. And it said it would destroy the whole entire internet, YouTube especially. And there have been like millions of protests, probably like about like maybe 1,000 people protesting or 1 million, maybe, and that stuff. And Europe like, whatever. These people are just like being big babies and that stuff. We just want to pass this bill because we want the money. We don't care about the people. We just want the money for passing this bill. Heck, if we get this bill passed and that stuff, we can make as much money as possible, as much as winning a casino slot. I compare them getting paid that much amount of money compared to that of a casino slot. Yeah, bottom line, Europe just doesn't really care about the people. Article 13 could get passed and then nobody would be able to say anything about it. But there could be an after effect. They could have Article 13 passed for like a year or half a year in 2021, and they could be like in that stuff, oh, we're getting like some very, very negative, wow. Yeah, we passed a bill that was going to make us a bunch of money and that stuff. And here's what could happen. They could possibly, like, sue Europe for a stupid bill being passed. And it just wouldn't look good on them. It just wouldn't look good on them. And yeah, Europe's going to be like, well, we didn't do anything wrong. We just wanted to protect the copyrighted users from other people using their content. That's all. We didn't do anything wrong. Why are we being sued here? I bet there are people that would be telling Europe and that stuff, since when has it become right that everybody has to flush their money down the toilet for searching anything up on YouTube? Or, I mean, searching anything up on Facebook, Twitter, or Google Plus, Pinterest, whatever you name the source that has copyright material. You name that source. And every time you search something up, you gotta be like, hey, that's not yours. Now you gotta pay up now. Alright? You search something out of our material and that stuff, you gotta start paying up now. That's not yours. You pay up, you give us the money, and we'll let you use this. If you don't give us the money, we're not gonna let you use it. And every time you went to go search something of copyright material and this day, that same company is going to say, like, hey, you give us the money for this, and we'll let you use this thing. Or we'll let you use this source. And everybody be like saying, like, why am I forced to give all of my hard-earned cash to these companies now? Because of the stupid Article 13 Act. I mean, seriously. Anyway, that was my whole video on comparing this whole thing to the T-tax and recent history and that stuff. And like, yeah. Nobody likes to pay tax for every single thing that they want to use. Okay? I'll tell you, the only thing that actually gets taxed every time you go there is going to be like bottled beverages. Okay? Alright, now, bottled beverages are like way different than... You only have to pay tax for like one thing, and that's bottled beverages when you go to like any restaurant. But you don't need to pay tax for like every single thing that you want to buy. Yeah, there could be. I understand that you have to pay the state tax on, like, clothing and hats and that stuff. But you don't have to pay tax for, like, every single thing. If all we have to do is pay tax on just the clothing that we buy from our state and the and the bottled beverages that we want from restaurants and that stuff, then I say we're actually that we're doing pretty good right now. And I could tell that by the time Article 13 gets out, everybody's going to be raging mad, and they're going to say to Europe, I don't like flushing my money down the toilet, my hard-earned money down the toilet every time because of your stupid Article 13. We're sick of it. But who knows? Maybe Europe will listen after this this article bill gets passed out by 2021. Who knows? Maybe they'll start listening after that. Anyway, that was the video. I wanted to compare the tea tax to internet tax due to Article 13, and I wanted to compare how stupid it was to pay a tax for every single thing that you wanted to search on the internet. Come on, really, that's just messed up. Anyway, this is Charles Morris. Have a good day. I will see you all later.